Are you recording? Okay. Hi, welcome to our Plainview home. I'm Mandy. I'm so glad you're here. So today we're going to be working on a project that I've been putting off for a while now, which is organizing our toddler girls' closets. So after we get done organizing, be sure and hang around to the end of the video where I'm going to be making this. Don't know if you can tell what it is, but it's a log of cookie dough. It's our go-to snack. Yes, we snack on cookies. I make it probably once a week, so we're gonna do that today. So just like anything else I try to do, before we can get to the organizing, we have to do laundry. Lots and lots of laundry. Let's get started. And laundry is one of those chores that I always dread, but it's so satisfying whenever it's done. And for this project in particular, I needed to have all the clothes folded and ready to be put away to make it easier. Here my toddler is helping me out. She loves doing laundry lately, and I don't know, I think she just enjoys jumping around and playing on the bed more than anything. And she's a cute little helper. I move these baskets from the floor to the bed, but what I do is I don't actually fold the kids' clothes. I put them in their each individual basket and then I take it downstairs that way. I'm folding mostly just towels here just to get all the laundry done. But for the kids' clothes, they will put it away and I don't usually care if they fold it or not. Now I'm moving on to the little girl's bedroom, which I say it's a bedroom, but we've turned it into more of a playroom. Their closets are of course in here, but their beds are moved out. The kids decided that they wanted to sleep together, so the two little girls have moved in with the two older kids and they're sharing bedrooms. So with the closet still in here, I have their clothes in here, but I wanted to get this area just cleaned up before I put everything on the floor to get organized and put back in the closet. So I'm just doing a quick cleaning on this. And Rusty, our Australian Shepherd, is helping me out with this too. Okay, so the closets are kind of interesting, but it's a DIY that I did as far as their shelves. Just really simple. We don't have closet doors on either side of the closets. The shelves that I rigged up here are actually the piece of the crib for when the girls had cribs. And I just took some twine and tied it up and hung it in their closet so that it would be like a big shelf that they could reach, because I couldn't find anything that they could actually reach and get their clothes out. So what I'm doing here is pulling what's left off of those that makeshift shelf, pulling everything off and then kind of tidying up, and then I'll put back on. Because it is like a crib, there are holes in it, so I put just a piece of fabric over that piece so that the clothes don't fall through the holes, because that was happening. But this is just a fix for now. It's not something that will do forever. It's just something I wanted to do and not spend money on. So I'm folding everything and putting it back up there. And since the kids do put their own clothes away, I know it doesn't stay perfect. I'm just trying to reset it for them is all that I'm doing. So typically it's just that shelf is just piled with clothes that they put up themselves, which I'm usually fine with. I don't mind them doing their own laundry. I was going to, at the same time, organize and get rid of some of their clothes that don't fit anymore, but I decided to not do that with this right now. I just didn't want to take the time to do that and change wasn't quite ready to do the change of season just yet, although we're getting close. I wanted to wait just a little bit longer on that because it's still hot here in southern Missouri, so they're still wearing summer clothes. It's not that fall weather yet. And I did find these at Walmart. I had noticed this before, but Walmart is really stepping up with their clothes. It's an organic cotton line that they have. And I found these on sale, so I picked them up for the girls, a couple of shorts and a cute little tank top there. Those are the shorts. I thought they were really cute. So now I'm just moving on to the other toddler's side. I have baskets for everything, so I just found a basket around the house and put just little purses that she likes and things in that, and just set it up on the shelf for her to get into. Our toddler girls are 6 and 4, so they kind of wear almost the same size. They're very close in size. So some of these things I just put for both of them and just kind of decided which side to put on. But now I've got that done. I'm just showing you what the closet looks like after I've got that all organized, and I think it looks much better. Like I said, it's not going to stay like this, but it looks really, really good for now, and it was kind of a reset that we needed. So now that we have that done, we decided that, like I said before in the beginning of the video, we do cookie dough once a week, and the kids really wanted to make chocolate chip cookies tonight. So that's what we did after we got all the organizing done. So I'm just getting that ready. These cookies that I make them all the time, and I can't even remember where I found the recipe, but I'll have the recipe linked below to our website, because I don't really go into detail how I make it. We're just kind of having fun and making them. But these chocolate chip cookies, they're really close to, or I think that they are, to like a McDonald's chocolate chip cookie. They're just really a good moist cookie, and you really can't go wrong with them. They're very versatile. I'm sure everyone is like this too, but I like to have all of my ingredients out and ready to go. So I'm just kind of getting everything set on the counter, and then my helpers will join me in a minute. My kids especially love to bake. I can be cooking all day and they're not too interested, but if I get the flour out, they come straight to the counter and are wanting to help with that. I think, as you can see, they like to snack as they're helping. So she's eating the chocolate chip. And they also enjoy playing in the flour, which is why I think they come running when they see the big container of flour. So I will go ahead and mention that the ingredients to these cookies are really simple. Just brown sugar, butter, eggs, flour, and baking soda, and of course the chocolate chips. We're still practicing the art of cracking an egg. So there's some shells in this one that she's doing. And I think I saw it on years ago on a Rachel Ray episode. She had a cooking channel, and maybe she still has one, I'm not sure. But she took the eggshell and used that to dip in to get the shell that fell into the bowl. And that actually works. If you didn't know, it tracks the eggshell in the bowl, and it gets it almost every time. I usually always forget to get butter out and let it set to room temperature, so you want something kind of soft. Here I use a fork to mix all this together, the sugar and the butter. But I usually always microwave and soften the butter a little bit to make it easier, since I don't have a stand mixer. And we've added an extra helper here. These girls really are good helpers, and they enjoy baking, which I'm so glad that they do. It's taken some time and practice, but they really are coming around to taking turns and being patient. And I think just constantly baking with me has really helped in that. It can be hard to let your kids help you in the kitchen. I don't know if you can tell here, but I'm pretty fussy. I keep fussing with the ingredients and putting things away as I go. I just have a habit of doing that. But so it can be hard to let them help, and the messes that they make can be really hard. But it's also important to let them, at this age, they enjoy it and they love it so much. And so if you really help to foster that, it'll continue as they get older. So once all the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients are mixed together, just all that's left is to add the chocolate chips. I think they eat just about as much as they help. Whenever I make these cookies, I usually always make just a few, maybe about 6. I can't remember how many I do here, but usually make about 6 for us to eat the same day, the same time we're making them. And then I save the rest and put it in the refrigerator, and I'll show you in a little bit how I do that. But there's a little bit of the extra cookie dough that we made a few days ago on the counter as well. And I noticed I didn't use that. I put it back in the fridge, but But I was thinking I probably would have used that and baked it the same night as well. Whenever I'm scooping up the cookie dough for cookies, I prefer just to use a spoon and grab a little bit. What I think, I don't know, like a half-inch ball or an inch. I'm always really bad about measurements on that. But just a little ball is what I make. But the cookie dough scoop always seems to get the cookie dough stays in there and never seems to want to come out. So I don't really use that. I always just use a spoon and do that. But I'm putting it in the oven here and baking at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. So while that's baking, I'm going to take the rest of the cookie dough and save it. And what I'll do is just use plastic wrap. I do usually do 2 just because I don't want the log. I'm making a log here and I don't want the logs to be too big. So I'll usually just scoop half of what's left in one log on the plastic wrap and then roll it up and then do another. And these will last in the refrigerator, I think about up to 5 days. So if I think we're not going to use them within a week for sure, I will freeze one. I will wrap it in saran wrap as well and then freeze it or put it in a freezer bag. But it lasts that way too. And then when I'm ready, I can just bring it out of the freezer, and I usually put it in the refrigerator for a little bit to let it thaw, and then I'll get it out to bake. So whenever I bake cookies from the log, what I'll do is set out, like if it's just in the refrigerator, I'll set it out on the counter to let it get a little bit, closer to room temperature, easier to cut. And I'll just cut it into just little pieces that I think will make like a nice cookie roll, like a ball, I'll just cut it into little slices and then ball it up and then put it in the oven the same way, 350 for like 10 minutes. And these cookies usually come out the same every time. They're always so good. We just love them. We usually have cookies, if not every night, every other night at least. It was a nice end to our busy day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video.